I'm sorry, but this is probably the dumbest argument I've ever seen. I've seen a couple people responding to this guy's video, but I don't think I've seen any of them mention the fact that his argument just makes no sense. See for yourself.
People, Batman stands, decided that it would be really bad and boring for his character if he killed villains. Okay, that's what you believe. Cool. It would be bad for DC and Batman's character if he killed his villains, right? But it's okay to SA the character, right? Because Batman's been SA before, Yeah, no, we're not gonna make him take life because that would be bad for his character. Oh, but we will SA him, we'll SA his son.
What does that have to do with anything? First of all, if you're trying to say that people are generally okay with that, then that's just wrong. People don't really like that Batman was SA'd. And absolutely nobody likes the fact that Nightwing was SA'd. Nobody even likes the writer whose probably self-insert character did the SAing. Either way, this isn't a relevant thing to bring up in this discussion. Batman killing people would be a bad thing for his character to do. SA is a bad thing that was done to Batman. They aren't comparable.
Matter of fact, have you guys ever watched Watchmen? It's such a great movie. But do you guys remember the scene? Do you remember the scene where the comedian was taking advantage of his partner and then she was saved? Remember how cool that was? Well, there was a part in that movie they took out, but you wouldn't know that if you read the comic. But after that woman was taken advantage of, right? Once the comedian left the room, she was given no sympathy for what happened to her. She was told to get up and to cover herself because what had happened to her was embarrassing.
I read about a...
Isn't that crazy, DC? Oh, no, it's bad for his character to take life. But it's more than okay to SA and brutalize women. No, let's take it further. I mean, even in the comics, they're willing to pull a bullet in pregnant women. No, it's bad for his character to do that. But it's more than okay to beat, R-word, and put down pregnant women. Matter of fact, speaking of women, we will even write little boys watching certain acts that they shouldn't be watching. And we're willing to watch how they get brutalized, right? Because the one thing in the DC universe that's really normalized is child abuse. Like, when women are harmed in comics, specifically in DC, we don't even give them closure. You know what we do? We justify the pain and suffering that they went through. We glorify it. Oh yeah, no. We justify that. We don't just justify it. No. We romanticize it.
What are you talking about? Like, seriously, what the fuck are you talking about? You brought up the attack on Silk Spectre, which was very clearly painted to be a bad thing. You brought up Comedian killing his baby mama, which was very clearly shown to be a bad thing done by a bad person. And you mentioned Rorschach's tragic origin story, which was very clearly painted to be a bad sequence of events. Why are you trying to act like DC or the fans somehow condone these kinds of things when they are consistently shown to be bad things done by bad people? And just the fact that these kinds of things appear in certain comics doesn't mean that they're touted as okay. Heinous shit like this exists in comics because it's simply something that bad people do, which, once again, has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Batman shouldn't kill. Oh, and one more thing, you're completely misunderstanding what Dr. Manhattan said. He's in no way romanticizing what happened to Silk Spectre's mom. The entire point of what he said is that the altogether unlikely events that led to Laurie being born made him realize just how unique and special life in general is. It made him realize that life in some way is worth valuing. What happened to Silk Spectre was never romanticized, it just made Dr. Manhattan think.
Think about it, DC is more than okay of letting, a character who, touches kids be around your kids. Like, he loves that. If I'm correct, Deathstroke has pretty much been in every iteration of Teen Titans. I mean, this is a character who manipulates little girls and little boys, and he's touched some of them. And DC and Cartoon Network apparently have no problem with that character, again, being around your kids' development.
Okay, and? So what if he's manipulative to the child protagonists of whatever he's in? That's pretty standard villain shit that can be said for most villains across all fiction. And it's never touted as a good or acceptable thing because the people who do this kind of shit are, villains. Also, bringing up Deathstroke being around children's development through the various cartoon appearances he's had as if it's somehow harmful is completely disingenuous. While yes, there are instances of child diddling that do surround Deathstroke's character, those instances only appear in certain comics and the movie adaptation of the Judas Contract, which isn't really for kids. These instances are neither replicated nor mentioned in any of the other cartoon appearances that you brought up. In all of his other appearances besides the Judas Contract, he's either goofy or manipulative villain like any other. He's no worse than a lot of other villains that appear in kids' shows. By bringing this up like it's somehow relevant, you're basically just fear-mongering for something that isn't even an issue. And once again, none of this is relevant to the issue of Batman killing or not killing his villains.
All I'm saying is this. You will argue all day why Batman shouldn't kill his villains. But I think every Batman account or Batman stan, rather you love Red Hood, etc., they never even bring this up as a topic. I just find this kind of crazy. You will argue and fight. You don't understand Batman. You don't understand the character. You don't understand who he is. And you will defend why he shouldn't take a life all day, every day. But you never bring into question that not only is DC okay with, beating and abusing children, but they're more than, willing to do it to women on a consistent basis. You guys are more willing to attempt to, defend his no-kill rule, opposed to bring up the fact that DC is, has a common case of, brutalizing children, manipulating little girls, and taking women's lives. What am I saying?
Yes. What are you saying? People who defend Batman's no-kill rule don't bring this up because not only is it not relevant to the argument, it's not an issue altogether. Why are you acting as if it's hypocritical for DC and its fans to not want Batman, a hero, to kill, while at the same time writing and accepting that villains do villainous shit? That's not being hypocritical, that's just common sense. All you've done is bring up completely irrelevant examples and act like they have some sort of bearing on the fans and writers that think Batman shouldn't kill. Seriously, what are you even trying to say here? For the people who want to go watch the original video, I'll probably link it in the description. I ended up cutting out a lot of it in this response because it's basically just 4 minutes of yapping. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.